Hello children. So today we are in the last chapter of your syllabus, that is chapter number 14, water. What is water? Water is a precious, fundamental and the most essential substances required for the existence of life on earth. Just before this chapter you have learnt about air. As you learned that we cannot live without air, it is true that we cannot live without water also. Water is found naturally and abundantly on our planet Earth. About two-thirds of the total Earth's surface is covered with water. It is a transparent, odorless and tasteless inorganic molecule composed of hydrogen and oxygen. But what is the source of water? Where do we find water from? So as I told you that water is covering two-thirds of the earth's surface. So where does this water comes from? The main source of water is rain. When rain comes, it fills in the various water bodies. About two-thirds of the total earth's surface is covered with water, but 2 to 3% of it is suitable for human use. The other 99.7% available are found in ocean, sea, groundwater floating in the atmosphere and in ice caps, which is not safe and is unsuitable for human consumption. Rivers, ponds, lakes and groundwater are the different sources of water which can be used for drinking, cooking and other human uses only after proper treatment like boiling, filtering, chlorination, etc. Uses of water. We all use water in our day-to-day life and the use is a varied use. Let's see some of the uses. It is used for cleaning. We use it for cleaning our houses, shops, industries, etc. Drinking. We all drink water and it is a very good habit to drink water daily. Bathing, washing, irrigation, gardening, cooking food, transportation, manufacturing goods, for generating power, production in industries, etc. There are three states of water and those three states are interchangeable. The three states of water are solid, liquid and gas and they can be converted from one to another Water can exist in all the three states, solid, liquid and gas. These three states of water are interconvertible to each other. That is, we can change it from one state to another. Like, solid can change into liquid by heating. Liquid can again change into solid by freezing. Liquid can change into gas by further heating or boiling. Gas can again turn into liquid by the process of condensation. Let me tell you, solid also can directly convert into gas by a process called sublimation, and gas can again directly change into solid by a process of deposition. The water cycle. You all have learnt about it in your lower classes. The water cycle is a continuous process which goes on in our environment. Let's learn about it in details. The process of circulating or the continuous movement of water between water bodies like the ocean, rivers, ponds, lakes and land is called the water cycle. In this process, the water on the earth changes into three different states of matter, that is solid, liquid and gas. The complete process of the water cycle involves the following processes: evaporation, condensation and precipitation. Water droplets in the cloud keeps bumping against one another and sometimes stick to form bigger drops. When these drops become too heavy to float in the water, they drop down back to the earth as rain. The water that comes down as rain in time evaporates and goes up to form clouds again. This leads to forming a cycle known as the water cycle. Let's see some terms related to water cycle. The first one is evaporation. Evaporation is the process of converting liquid or water into gaseous form or vapor form by heating. So when the sun's rays falls on the water bodies, due to the heat of the sun, the water evaporates from the water bodies and the water vapor, being hot, is lighter and thus goes up and its place is taken by the cold air. Now comes condensation. The process of converting water vapor or gaseous form into its liquid form on cooling is called condensation. So this water vapor, when it goes to higher altitudes, the temperature there is cold. So due to that cold temperature, the water condenses and forms water droplets again. Precipitation. When more water gets condensed in clouds or condensation of water vapor in the atmosphere, they cling to each other, as I told you earlier. They cling to each other, forming bigger water droplets, and thus they precipitate. The precipitation can be in the form of rain, they can be in the form of snow or hail. Transpiration. So what is transpiration? It is a process by which the plants give out the excessive water in their body. Like we people excrete, we sweat. So plants also sweat. So transpiration in plants, it is a process of evaporating water through leaves when water is absorbed through roots is called transpiration. So that's it in this part, students. I will see you in the next session. Stay tuned till then. Bye bye. Take care.